As a result of the Fraser Institute study about the cost of bilingualism, it's becoming a hot topic today, and I read in the National Post Lauren Gunter's article, which analyzes the cost per unilingual Canadian of bilingualism. In other words, where there are actually only 300,000 people in the whole country who claim they cannot speak the majority language, be it English or French, we are spending, in effect, $8,000 per year per minority language Canadian who is truly in need of bilingual services. This in the province of Newfoundland is $1,780 per francophone, and in other provinces breaks down equally to be an enormous amount of money. In BC there are 1,200 people who claim to be unilingually French speaking, and in Saskatchewan 400. And in Alberta, 1,600 residents who claim to speak French only. In other words, they claim they cannot understand the English language. Obviously, this points to the reality of the absurdity of bilingualism. And my view of this whole matter is that you can complain about it all you like, but if you, in Western Canada, do not want to accept this ridiculous situation, where so much money is spent on a minority language that only a very few people ever really need, and those same people can and probably do function in the majority language, then there's only one solution, and that is for independence for Western Canada. Because otherwise, with the Quebec threat of separation being cranked up every time there's a reduction in bilingual funding, and every time that there's less given to the idea that language ability supersedes merit, every time that happens, Quebec develops another separatist referendum. The result being that Canada has become the victim of a blackmail psychosis, or syndrome, I suppose, not psychosis. It's a reality. It's not an illusion that Quebec will separate if we don't give them more and more and more in the way of bilingualism and funding and every other benefit that's required to placate the people of Quebec and keep them in Canada. And bilingualism ultimately has failed because, interestingly enough, Quebec is the one province which spends least money per capita on providing service in the minority language, which happens in that province, of course, to be English. So the one province that probably has a large, it's actually 25% of the population of Quebec, is unable to function in the French language, but they spend the least amount of money. With the largest minority language group, they spend the least amount of money on bilingual services. So, you see, it's just a con game, like the con game of Confederation, and there's only one solution, because the Supreme Court of Canada will uphold all these language rights in Manitoba as they did, and in other provinces, unless and until Western Canadians choose to separate and have a referendum just like Quebec did. But this referendum will be real. With the resources of Western Canada and the future in our hands, we will determine our destiny, and that will be a wonderful thing. And finally, bilingualism will not be a thorn in our side.